let's hit start recording. Recording's doing fine. And let's hit start streaming. Now let's go over to Facebook. Now we're pulling that. And we're gonna hit go live over here. And we're gonna get set up. Hello, Chiropractic family. It is Charlie with Mountain Man Digital. Happy 2020. We made it. And I don't know about all of you, but 2019 was a hell of a year for me. I went from really not having a very big presence with all of you to having certain videos that had over 18,000 views and helping about 30 or 40 of you run your own sites and grow your practices. So thank all of you for 2019. It has been a wild ride, and I look forward to helping even more of you this year. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about how you yourself can search engine optimize your website. Now, I talk about this all the time. I make short videos. Sorry, this button's flipping around. Talking about how to page speed optimize, how to get more backlinks, your mentality you should have for SEO, keyword research, all that stuff, right? And what I'm going to focus on in this video is a little bit of all of it, okay? And my hope is that if you sit down with a notebook, you're actually going to be able to walk away from this video with meaningful knowledge so that you can actually get your site to rank, okay? Now at the end, I am going to offer you something too, okay? Because I have a comprehensive course that I'm going to be rolling out that will help you run through all this stuff step by step by step if you don't want to sit here violently scribbling to make sure you get all this information. Okay, so this is going to be about a 40-minute video guide on how to get to the top of Google for your practice, for maps, and your website in 3 weeks or less. Okay, so this will be a fairly long video, so let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First of all, why SEO? Okay, and I'm going to talk about why SEO is similar to the Wright brothers' success in flight. And I'm also going to talk about how SEO as a marketing strategy will make all other digital marketing efforts multiply in results overnight. And this is really awesome. It's one of my biggest reasons why I love SEO so much. Okay. We'll also cover in depth Google Maps. Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about the way that you can hack your way to the Maps 3-pack, that little box that shows up at the top of your search results when you search for something local, even if you're up against huge local chiropractic offices. Okay, and we're going to teach you how to stay at the top and use that specifically to explode your practice. Okay. Finally, of course, we will cover in this video website SEO. Okay, I'm going to use a 3-step guide on how to build or make an SEO friendly website from what you already have, and I'm going to show you the exact workflow that I use for my clients to get them to rank and rank quickly and rank well. Finally, I'm going to show you a cheat sheet on how you can do it all. Okay, and if you want that cheat sheet, you need to stay until the end of the video. Okay, so be sure to stay until the end of the video. So, for a lot of you, I imagine that taking a look at something like this, although you might not like to see it, is probably somewhat like either you've experienced others' growth of their chiropractic offices, or it's what you've experienced yourself. So, if you're starting out, you may have chiropractic colleagues in their 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe your dad, who had a similar experience with marketing their practice, okay? And my hope with this video is that we can maybe leapfrog a lot of this and get you working faster, okay? So stage one, you're struggling to find a marketing method that works, right? So you try everything to get patients in the door. Social media, posting Facebook ads, dinners with the doc, lunch and learns, dancing sign guy, all right? There's a dude who runs a chiropractic office up the street from me, was using a dancing sign guy where they flip the signs around and stuff. Did it work? Who knows? But that is what I mean, okay? You're just throwing mud at the wall to see what sticks, right? Then you give up and get jaded. You cancel everything and you go back to the old way, right? Which might have just been 18 months ago. Ad in the newspaper, radio ads, or maybe nothing at all, and just working off of word of mouth and referrals. Finally, you decide, you know what? I'm tired of living hand to mouth. I'm tired of throwing my money away at all of these other marketing efforts, and you decide to build your foundation and do it right. Okay, you decide to get your SEO straight, you decide to set your foundations for proper marketing, and then you realize once those search engine optimization pieces start to work, you can turn up the heat at any time with other marketing efforts. And we'll talk about that more towards the end of the video. But this is a lot like the Wright brothers' story about how they were the first to fly a plane. Okay? Because in the beginning, before the Wright brothers flew, right, everybody was worried most about putting bigger and bigger engines on their planes. Okay? So if you look at some of the pictures from back then, there are these tiny wings on these planes with massive V16 engines, right, with these propellers. And they thought that if they could just get enough power into that propeller, that it would fly away. And everybody crashed. Everybody gave up. And then the Wright brothers flipped that idea on its head, and they made a glider first. They started with a really, really good foundation, right, of something that they knew could get airborne. And then they added an engine and flew it. Okay? It's the same type of thing with marketing, right? You start with the most basic piece first, right? How can we get people to your website that actually need chiropractic care? And how can we do it cheaply and effectively? And that's what's beautiful about local SEO. Okay, so I'm Charles Manuel. If you guys don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Mountain Man Digital. Dearly departed, as you can see in this picture, my mustache. I had a run-in with the trimmers, and so we're going to be Honest Abe for this video, to the chagrin of my wife. But what are you going to do? This is me with my daughter, Sophia. I think in this picture she's 6. She's 7 now. She is the love of my life and a lot of the motivation for what I do. But here I am with my wife, Stephanie, still happily married after 10 years. And this is really when we first met back in college. And at the time, we were both in school to become CPAs. Okay, I'm CPA eligible. I no longer hold licensure, as is my wife. And we were really big into the finance sector, right? I became a financial advisor. She works as a financial advisor for a government contractor. And what I realized as I was working through all of this, I'll save that picture for later, is that I didn't enjoy the ethics of the finance world, right? And I'm sure you all know what I mean. It's just a shady industry. And so I decided that that wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I started working for myself, building websites and doing SEO for small businesses. But I did it for everyone. Okay, I had roofers, auto body shops, custom Porsche shops, tech startups, coffee review sites, anything you can think of I would take, right? And eventually I decided, well, I needed to niche down, okay? And so I've always been big into powerlifting, and one day I was deadlifting, as I am in this picture. This is actually after my recovery. And I slipped a disc in my back. I heard this terrible pop, and I was like, I don't feel so good. 5-6 hours later, I had to go to the hospital. I was in too much pain. I went to the emergency room, and the ER doc told me I had a slipped disc. and I would probably need back surgery and 12 months of rehab. I wasn't really feeling that was a great option for me. I wanted to get back on the platform. So I decided that I would instead go see a chiropractor. And this was the second time I'd ever seen a chiropractor. The first was years before, and I was like, that was okay. And the chiropractor looked at my MRIs, and he said, Charlie, I think I can help you. And after 3 weeks of adjustments, 3 times a week, he had me back in the gym, right? And this is maybe 3 months later, pulling, I think, 380. I did that for 3 in that one. But I am very grateful to the chiropractic industry as a whole, and of course Dr. Keith Madden, who is the reason why I am standing before you here today. And that's one of the main reasons why I went, these chiropractors need help, and I'm going to be the one to do it. So that's when I decided to transition to Mountain Man Digital, and we have focused exclusively on chiropractors now for 3 years. And I am very, very proud to be here talking to you all about search engine optimizing your site today. So, ground rules. This is where I'm going to start to get very information dense. This is where I'm going to really start to talk in depth about search engine optimization. Okay? So, turn off your phones, close the extra tabs, spend some time to actually get something out of this video. This is something that I've been guilty of for like the entire past year. I'd like go for a run and listen to a book on tape, or like get emails read to me while I'm walking, or like do laundry and also listen to a webinar, or like all this other stuff. And I couldn't even remember what the webinar was about. I could barely remember half of the book. It doesn't work. Okay, your brain is terrible at multitasking. You've all heard it before. Shut it off. If you don't want to be here to listen 100%, you probably just don't want to be here then. Turn on some music in the background. You'll feel a hell of a lot better. Okay? Get the notebook out. Get ready to learn about SEO in a way that you're actually going to be able to understand so that you can grow your practice. All right? So, first of all, why SEO? Okay? SEO is the foundation for all online marketing. Okay? More than 90% of all internet traffic goes through Google first. It is the place you want to be online. Okay? And the best part about it is that once SEO is set up, the benefits last for years, sometimes just forever, and it takes very, very little maintenance. Okay? And if your site looks good to Google, you're already following terms of service rules for Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, of course, and pretty much any other flash-in-the-pan marketing item that you see, right? TikTok is not going to be mad if you run an ad on their platform. Snapchat's not going to be mad if you run an ad on their platform, right? You're open to everything if you're following Google's terms of service, okay? And honestly, here's the harsh truth. Okay, if you don't have a website in 2020 that gets you patients in the door natively and organically, you don't have a business. Okay, you have 2 jobs. You're a chiropractor and you're a salesman, because you're always looking to bring in new patients, right? But when the phone just rings because your site's doing its job, you now have the one job that you went to school for. And that's our goal. Okay? So let's go ahead and set things up. Now, step 1 is going to be setting up tracking. So tracking is literally just getting a read on how many folks are going to your site and what they're doing. Okay, so there's 3 pieces of software that I use for all my clients to set up tracking. Number 1 is Google Tag Manager. Okay, and Google Tag Manager is like a box. It's like a file cabinet that you can put all of your other tracking software into. And the best part about it is that if you set everything up like this, Google Tag Manager is the only real coding you're going to have to do for this entire guide. Okay, this is it. All right, so that's going to be the first piece. Then we're going to install inside of the Tag Manager Google Analytics. And you guys might already have this on your site. A lot of sites automatically install it. Google Analytics is going to actually give you that traffic data. How long is so-and-so spending on this page versus that page, etc. And then finally, we'll install a Facebook pixel. And a Facebook pixel is just something that's going to claw the same kind of data that the analytics is pulling, but it's not really going to give you any data that'll be meaningful about it. Facebook's going to save that and then link those pieces of data to Facebook users. And that'll create what's called an audience in a Facebook ad, which you can market to later. Okay? See how we can spin up the marketing funnel anytime we want? Okay, so let me make sure that I tell you guys how to install Google Tag Manager before I go any farther. So with Google Tag Manager, what you're going to want to do is go to this link here, marketingplatform.google.com/about/tag manager. Okay, so it's right there. You can also just Google Tag Manager, right? For anything here, just Google it. Once you go there, it's going to prompt you to either sign in or make an account, right? If you already have a Gmail account, I'd recommend just setting up everything through that, because then they all end up in the same world. And then follow the directions on the site for setting up Google Tag Manager on your particular website. Okay. Google Analytics will simply plug in to the Google Tag Manager. And with Facebook Pixel, when you log in, create your Facebook My Business account, right? There's all guides online to do this. So Facebook My Business, right? Take those notes. And you set up your pixel. Then what you're able to do is there will be a button you push when you're setting up your pixel that will say Google Tag Manager. You log in and it'll plug the Facebook pixel right into the Tag Manager. And that's it. Okay? We've set up tracking on your site. This is something you could definitely do on your lunch break. All right. Now, step 2, Maps. And this is how you can hack Google Maps in 7 days or less. Look at this. See, I knew my audience. Take notes. I'm telling you. All right. So number 1, set up your Maps listing. Okay. So you can either Google My Business and get there, or you can go to the link here on the screen, google.com/business, right? Fill out all information. Have a picture of the front of the office, a picture of the front of the waiting room, a picture of you, and a picture of your team or your receptionist at least on your Google My Business. Okay? I'll go through those one more time. Front of office, waiting room, yourself, receptionist, or your team, if there's more folks working there. Okay? Number 3, ask all your patients for reviews. Okay? So what you're going to be able to do now that you've built a Google My Business is accept reviews to it. Okay? And so the easiest way to do that is that you go to a search term for your practice so that you show up in Google, and you navigate to one of these Google My Business listings. Okay? Yours, namely. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to pull up a review, a spot where the review will show up, and you could leave yourself one if you wanted. Okay? Copy the link and send it to folks. Very simple. Okay? This is how you get folks to give you reviews on Google. And you can email them, you can text it to them, you can get the CA to send the links with invoices, treatment plans, on and on and on, right? More importantly, you and your team can develop scripts around prompting happy patients to leave you reviews. Okay? Because here's the thing. With Google Maps, there's something called click momentum. Okay? So here's a great example, and that's why I put this here. Okay? So first at the top, we have Toss Chiropractic, and he's a local chiropractor near me. Great chiropractor. And we notice that he has 29 reviews, right? Here's the number 2, okay? Pittsfield Chiropractor with a single review. And here's Pittsfield Chiropractic Injury Clinic with 9 reviews. Now, why did they show up in this order? Okay, because if we look at the area, none of them are particularly far away from each other. This is a very small area, right? So why is the guy with 1 review at the second spot and the guy with 9 reviews at the third? And this is because Pittsfield Chiropractor got that review yesterday. Okay? Pittsfield Chiropractic Injury Clinic, those reviews are all years old. And it's actually the same with Tosk. Most of them are very old. Okay? So even though if you looked at this the day before and you saw whoever the third chiropractor was here and Pittsfield Injury, you might look at this and go, oh man, I got to get 10 reviews before I'm even going to show up. I don't know if I can get that this week. You know, it gets very demotivating, right? And Google knows that, and they want you to invest in their platform, to leave more reviews so that more people use it. And so just getting a single review can be enough to get you to that MAPS 3-pack, even if it's just for a day or two, right? But that momentum can build, right? Because you're now getting in new patients because you're showing up in way more searches. And then if you have a good script and a good system to email, text, or personally show them how to get to there to leave you reviews, you can build on that and build on that and build on that. And before you know it, you're dominating the MAPS 3-pack and you're getting a ton of new patients just by putting a simple review structure in place. All right? That's Google Maps. So here's a case study of that, actually. So here's Dr. Robert Press. And about 3 years ago now, I motivated him to start leaving reviews. And we'll see here that this lady here is spending a ton of money to show up at the top of the MAPS 3-pack. Here is, I believe, the largest chiropractor in his area. You'll notice he's right across the river from New York City. And here's the Joint, everybody's favorite, right? Just these places are difficult to compete with. You all know that. But Robert Press came in, got a lot of reviews very rapidly, right? Dominated several other chiropractic offices. And now, even with not getting reviews for a while, okay, he's still sitting at the front of the MAPS 3-pack. Okay, very, very powerful stuff. So, let's go ahead and move on to your actual website. Now that we've gotten you some traffic, you're seeing some wins, what about the actual website, Charlie? We got tracking on it. Maybe it's getting a little more traffic now. What's next? Okay, so for website SEO, and I mean stuff that happens on the site itself to make Google want to rank it, there's going to be 3 major parts, okay? Page speed, content, and backlinks, okay? And we'll go ahead and just dive right into page speed. I don't want to waste a lot of time here. So step 1 is just to check to see where you're at, okay? So the easiest way to do that is to go to developers.google.com/speed/page/insights, right? Step 2, make the fixes it recommends, right? And this might sound simple now if you haven't done this to your site yet, but there's going to be a lot, okay? If you're here, it's probably because you have some issues on this page right here, okay? And so what we're going to do is kind of min-max this, right? Thanks to the fact that I've been doing this now for about 7 years, I know that there's some stuff you can do that'll really make you look good to Google, and there's other stuff that takes a ton of time that only gives you a minimal boost, right? And is only useful in like edge cases. But it's hard to tell. So here's what we're going to focus on. Shrinking your images and using browser caching. That's it. Okay? Very, very simple. Once again, 2 lunch breaks. I think you guys could do this. Okay? So number 1, we're going to minify your images. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is download all the images from your website. Okay? Next, we're going to delete all the images from your site. Make sure you back up your website before you do any work to it of this sort. Okay? What I usually like to do when I'm page speed optimizing a client site is I make an image of it. I make an exact copy and I work on the copy. And then when the copy runs perfect, then I upload it. Right? So if you can do that, I'd highly recommend it. There's a lot of guides on how to do that quickly and easily, regardless of what type of website platform you're using. And that's a very powerful way to do this, so you aren't worried about breaking your site, having broken images, etc. Disclaimer, don't break your site, and if you do, have it backed up. Finally, take that file with all the images from the site that now lives on your computer and upload it to a compression tool, such as compressimage.tooler.com. And I bet you that one doesn't even exist anymore. these image compressors online kind of pop up and run ads through them and then die when people find they're not viable. So you can do this. I just use Adobe Photoshop and compress from there if you have that program. It's like $15 a month or something, so buy it for the month and then cancel. That's what I'd really recommend, but if you're really on a shoestring, you can do this as well. And then, of course, re-upload them to your site, okay? And as long as you haven't changed image file names and stuff, you should just be able to pull that file off your site and then plug it right back in with the smaller images. Alrighty? And then we're going to do browser caching, okay? And browser caching is just cookies, okay? So I got Oprah over here telling everybody she gets a cookie, because that's exactly what browser caching is. When you go onto those sites and they say we use cookies to optimize your browsing experience, that's browser caching. And basically what they're doing is they're going, hey, this like 3 megabyte file, you know, relatively small, has like all the real important stuff for our site. You're probably going to come back, so can I just tuck this in a drawer up here? And then the computer says yes. And that way, when you go to the site next time, it goes, oh, hey, I saved that thing for you. And it goes, oh, okay, cool. And it throws it down, and your site's already loaded, right? Very, very easy way to make your site appear very fast to Google and circumvent a lot of issues, okay? So, very simply, if you have a WordPress site, install a caching plugin such as W3 Total Cache, okay? Go ahead and set it up. You might break your site a few times, so have it backed up. And once you find the settings that work and you test it and you tweak it, then you're going to have a site that'll have an optimal page speed so that you can rank on Google. All right. The next piece is going to be backlinking. Okay. And backlinking is simply letting other websites know that you're out there, offering your service and what your website domain is. Okay. So for here, you can see I just have a picture of the different places that you can be linked to. Yellowpages.com, quality content on a Facebook page or something, Google, Yahoo, and Bing, meaning you submit your sitemap, all those different items, okay? So this is going to be the piece where you're going to have a little bit extra knowledge, right? Because for our clients, we backlink them at about 40 to 50 different listing sites, right? And that ability allows you to leapfrog the competition, right? Who probably have 10 or 15 backlinks, right? When you have 40 or 50 and you're in a local area, you're punching above your weight, and it gives you a lot of power to leapfrog over other folks who aren't getting the same type of exposure, okay? And this linked with a super high quality content system on your site. I highly recommend WordPress, right? So that would be what I would recommend switching to, is wordpress.org, and downloading that and using that architecture, right? That's going to give you the ability to put your content where Google wants it and set up backlinks appropriately. All right, guys, so if you want a complete guide, a complete course on exactly how to do this yourself with the tools, processes, and procedures I use for my clients to get them to rank, if you want a full list of websites we use to backlink our client sites, and the daily workflow that you can use to get ranked on Google, both for the Maps 3-pack and your website, then you gotta sign up for the Chiropractors SEO course, okay? Now, what's gonna make this course and a strategy session with me transformational? Okay, well, you're going to get a complete step-by-step course on how to not only get your site to work great and follow Google's rules, but also how to make your site rank higher than all of your competition in your area, regardless of the age of their practice, size, or location. Okay? Also, you're going to get access to our exclusive members group where you can interact one-on-one with me and other SEO pros. Okay, you're going to get a quick start guide, a cheat sheet, and an easy 30-minute video to follow to get your site more traffic overnight. And I guarantee you, I will tell you some really, really bad jokes. Just ask my wife. So, what would make you a good fit with this course? Well, if you're a chiropractor serious about growing your business 30% in the next 6 to 12 months, you have plans in place, you're ready to work nights and weekends, you're willing to invest time and money into your practice, and to work with me on these new processes to increase your new patient consults as quickly as possible. You're not a whiner, a complainer, or a procrastinator, and you really like cat memes, optional incentive pricing, then this is for you. Okay? So what would not make this for you is if you're not ready to invest time. Okay, really time more than money, because I know a lot of chiropractors who are doing the 100 to 300 patient area, and they have kind of the influx, outflux of associates and CAs, and they don't quite have that built yet, right? This course is not for you. You might just want to hire me to do your site, right? If you're whacking against the ground of 100, right, and you're getting stuck because of marketing, this course might be for you. So it depends, right? There's different options for different people. And what I would recommend is, if you're thinking about this, sign up for a strategy session with me, okay? It's a 30-minute call where I'm going to go over where your practice is now, the problems you're having marketing it and getting new patients in the door, and then I'm going to give you a ton of free information just like this, specific to your practice. I'll tell you different things that you can implement today so that you can actually grow your practice, and then I'll let you into my paid world. I'll tell you what I can do that you'd pay me a little money for to really grow your practice to that next level, right? It might be the course. It might be working with us from a professional level, okay? Only way we can find that out is a strategy session, okay? If you sign up for the strategy session, you'll get access to the cheat sheet and the 30-minute video for free, just for getting on the phone with me, okay? And this is everything you'll need in step-by-step form to complete what we talked about today in this video, right? That alone, I think a lot of people are selling for $400 or $500 online right now, okay? And I want to give it to you just for the opportunity to get to know you better, okay? So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link down below. That'll send you to a page where you can schedule a strategy session with me. I'm going to give you as much free information to help your practice on that phone call as possible. And then at the end, I'll tell you if I think the course is good for you, I'll tell you more about that. And if I think that working with us professionally to get a site built by our team is good, we'll talk about that. So thank you very much for hanging in to the end. And I will see you all in the next video.